Hi all, just like to show you quickly the Hearts League results site. It's really excellent how all the individual performances are shown for the Hearts League. So you can see my performance rating has dropped from this loss against Jacek Winter, who I lost to last year in Exchange French. I've lost him again in Exchange French. But I'm still on a good score, 6 out of 8 with 204 rating performance. Pigot's doing exceptionally well in my club with 248, 4 out of 4. Also Roy Royce. He's on 3 out of 3 with 217. Of course, the more games you play, the more you risk losing, and it finally happened to me. Other teams have some very strong players. For example, Lawrence Shepard, he hasn't played this season, but Kevin White's doing exceptionally well. 216 performance, 8 out of 9. Bournemouth, Hemel Hempstead are in this league. So this is the Hearts League. Simon Knott, he's an IM. He's got a 212 performance at the moment, 6.5 out of 8. They were relegated to Division 2 for the first time in several years, but I think they're going to be back up very soon to face next season. Let's see, who else has been doing well rating-wise? Just having a look at someone. So Jacek Winter, so he's beaten me again. He's on 6 out of 8 at the moment. I think he's also got a good position in the Germans. Against my good friend Alex Efelontis. So, or is it 4.5 out of 6? Sorry, that second column. Oh, okay. It might be 4.5 out of 6. So 209. So he's got the highest performance for his club. So let's go on to how I lost to him yet again this season. Yet again in the Exchange French variation. I'd like to get it out of my system. Okay. Onto the game. This is a game fragment which I can remember, and I lost last time in the Exchange French. Now, why is it embarrassing? Because as a French defence player, you really don't expect the opponents to play the Exchange French. It has a reputation for being dull and drawish, and it takes away the fun of the game. You go sometimes to have fun, and it's psychological, and in fact even more so here because Jacek plays knight c3 first, as though he's going to play something interesting, like bishop g5 or something. But no, he plays e takes d. And it's not so easy to play against. And I lost him last year as well, and he seems to be equal, to me tactically, at the very least. And it seems in every endgame I play against him, his rooks somehow magically come alive, and I underestimate him totally in the endgame. I don't know what happens to me. Maybe it's because he spends, a lot of time in the opening or something. But so he's done the double on me in the Exchange French both times. So I really want to start analysing these games and seeing if there's any antidote. But here, he played interestingly after. So bishop d3, bishop e7. I had visions that I'd be playing it like a Queen's Gambit declined. With c6 later, and maybe, this should be okay for me. Because there's less pressure on d5, right? Because white hasn't got a pawn on c4. So that's the theory. I thought I'd be relatively okay. And in fact, maybe, if he dares castle queenside, which actually he did, c6 would be dual purpose because, it would support b5. And the picture, to me at this moment seemed kind of rosy if he really did have this aggressive intention. Because it was kind of implied by this kind of move where he's not developing this knight yet and he's making way potentially for castling queenside. So c6 and definitely, it starts to get a stronger signal here that he's going to castle queenside. And so, for some reason, I'm still experimenting, and I want to ditch this idea of playing controversially now, but I almost felt it was controversial to castle kingside, and in fact maybe it is. Maybe white's just better if I castle kingside. Maybe I should have delayed it. Because the previous note about the pressure on d5 here, if white hasn't got pressure on d5, then, what has white got if I did want to castle queenside? Couldn't I, for example, play b5 and then, maybe slow knight maneuver? As long as my king is not getting it on the king side, then, say it was over here, then this kind of plan, how would he counterattack? The way I played it, I'm giving him a sitting target on the king side. So castling queen side, maybe his king's safer that the pawn is not on c4. He's tricked me already. Maybe that's the key to this. That it's better that the white knight's on c3. It's like a standard some sort of barrier attack or something, you know, something Hebden would play. So anyway, I played b5 rather naively. h4. This my attack never gets off the ground because I'm pushing pawns and he's going to get loads and loads of piece pressure. But so rook e1. I was a bit fearful already about, you know, tactics like rook e7 coming up as potentially dangerous. If I carried on naively pushing pawns, I thought, is he going to crush me with something like bishop takes b5, takes, rook takes e7, knight d5, bishop f6, and it's all going to come crashing down. I was just a bit wary about things like that. So really, I played rook e8 just to make sure I can recapture with rook e7. You know, if rook e7, not necessarily my queen. So a bit cautious, a bit passive. Now knight f3 introduces another kind of threat that, you know, maybe c6 is vulnerable. So here I play a5 anyway, and I play bishop b7. This is a bit passive because now, you know, look at this. This bishop is superior to my bishop. So I'm getting outplayed. I'm getting passive position. And what's worse, he's got very convenient, very easy piece pressure now with queen f4 to f5, hitting, you know, h7 as well as, you know, other potential threats. So it's starting to be incredibly unpleasant. I thought, again naively, you know, oh, bishop d6, this looks good. But it's just getting me, I'm being tied in knots now. Queen f5. My attack now on the queen side is nothing. It's far too slow. What am I doing with this? And in fact, if I chase this knight, you know, the knight might just come in, gang on f6 as well. Pardon me. To help, you know, intensify the pressure. But he's already got enough pressure on f6 because after knight f8 he just plays knight g4, and already I thought I was completely lost in this position just after move 15. So this is the guy that I keep losing every year, and I've just got this absolutely atrocious position. But funny enough, it was a longer game than one would expect because something strange happened here after rook e6. He didn't just go for the winning of a pawn or anything. He won the exchange, bishop f6, but I decided to just sack the exchange with rook f6. So after queen f6, knight takes, yeah, he's the exchange up. But immediately he kind of blunders. He gives me a glimmer of hope now. He plays rook e2, believe it or not, which allows me to just win a pawn. So I'm a pawn for the exchange now. But after a long, grueling game from this position, I still end up losing. So check. Rooks come off. Knight d1. I think my knight went back to e6. This is a kind of reconstruction as well. And I played b4. I'll basically tell you what was kind of erroneous about this. Was that I kind of played later for a3. But it ended up his rook was actually very useful blasting down the b file in a nutshell. So really, you know, maybe I should have been more preparing any potential, you know, pawn break, especially as his knight's going to be strong on f5, which was part of the previous damage he did, as well as winning the exchange. So after this c3, I'm not really sure of this move. I'm going to have to try and see if I have the full score sheet. So I just wanted to give you a taste of this game and what went wrong at the moment. So something like a3, and it was just too ambitious, basically, that my pieces weren't really that well placed, and his rook later invaded down the b file, and I lost horribly in the end game. In fact, he played very well. He created a passed a pawn and a passed h pawn and stretched me on both sides of the board. And, you know, we went down to about 3 minutes each and eventually won. But, yeah, I just wonder, well, first of all, you know, is the exchange French a serious weapon? I would like to maybe look at some Grandmaster games, because it flies in the face of, you know, creating imbalances if we go back in the opening. But on the other hand, I don't know, because I'm underestimating, I give my king, you know, a sitting duck position. Let's say, when I get the full score of this game, I'm going to redo this whole game. I just wanted to give a quick outline here in this video. There's also a couple of losses I do want to look at from the Barnet Congress as well. because I think it's the only way to look at these losses, to try and avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over again against often the same players over and over again. It could become quite a routine. I don't want to really repeat every year to lose to the same people. Okay. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.